first thing I'm going to read is this.
Okay. Periscope, Twitter, we're on. Instagram, Facebook, we'll be on here in about half a second. We are live.
Nice. Well, we got some shout outs. Megan Hess, I want to just thank you and give Local York. We have one more last broadcast of today, and it's an amazing. We're gonna have an amazing time. But I have a heart for animals because I have animals myself. So, and I know Ryan has a heart for animals, right, Ryan?
That's
you have
right.
A heart for animals?
I grew up with animals. I love animals.
Jennifer's got a heart for animals. Yeah, and so I'm glad we got hooked up. I think everything's for a purpose. And just when we were talking upstairs in our lounge, it was inspiring to hear your story. And I didn't want to take all the thunder, but it's going to be an amazing night. So please share and invite. And before we get started, Give Local York Partnership is what this is all about. So Megan Hess and the team put together Give Local York. And what it is it's the largest day of York County. It's a county-wide thing, okay? And it's the largest day of giving presented by York Federal Fellows Alumni Association. So thank you, Megan, and the York Federal Fellows Alumni Association for putting this whole thing together. Yeah, and we want to thank you for that. So, for the first time ever, put on your calendar May the 4th.
May the 4th.
Yeah, it's big First day. Friday, big day.
Yep.
We're going to be at Central Market. Oh, you can have everything.
Thank you.
That's our executive producer.
Thank you very much.
And this is Jennifer. So let me finish getting through this. So put May the 4th on your calendar, please. It's Friday. Write it down. Our community is going to be transformed into a community county-wide celebration of generosity that benefits hundreds of nonprofit organizations serving York County. Every dollar affects York County that we're talking about here out of these, and we are up to 200 non-for-profits, so thank you all for stepping up. Every dollar donated at givelocalyork.org on that day will be amplified by a stretch poll and prizes. So giving local goes further than ever before. And for the first Friday activities and dine outs, there's going to be flash mobs and more. Give Local York will unite organizations in this county and individuals for 24 hours as part of a deeply engaging celebration of good work and giving back in York County. It's a chance to shake them down, take them for a test ride, get to know. Well, it is awesome that you have 200 outlets to give. And the whole thing in the world, in the universe, is to give. I mean, it's never about getting. It's always about what you give. That is the biggest thing. And how it all is going to go down, just so you know, and then we're going to move forward. On May 4th, you're going to visit givelocal.org on any device, whether it's a phone. I mean, I think I can probably even do it from one of these smart TVs. So any smart device, tablet, you donate a minimum of $10. You can pick an organization like
Honey's Raid.
And then what happens is that money that is going to be raised is going to go to Give Local York sponsors. You can go directly or you can put it in the pool. Obviously, tonight you're going to find out about
Honey's Raid.
And then the stretch pool works as a percentage. So any organization, let's say that Honey's Raid is going to raise 20-30% of all the money. That's what percentage they're going to get of the stretch pool. So there's also going to be prizes that individuals can win for their organization.
Right.
So that's going to be fun. That's going to be awesome. So we're excited. So how did we get together today?
Oh.
Did you get an email from Megan?
I did get an email from Megan.
Boom.
She's awesome.
And these are all people that are grinding for a cause. Isn't it awesome? You can't stop that energy.
Absolutely.
It's very contagious.
It is.
It's like it's already, and what a great time. Our county, and I want to ask, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask for a moment of silence for our fallen firefighters, Evan and Zachary. Evan Flancha and Zachary Anthony. And you know, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe, you know, this has all been planned. It didn't just happen, but everything flows for a reason, and we need a rising and a hope, and this is going to bring it. And a lot of those services were used during this tragic time.
Absolutely.
And so that's another thing. And so we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance real quick. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we're going to have a moment of silence for our fallen firefighters and our firefighters that are hurt in the hospital and all of our service workers in York County. Thank you. Thank you. We love you all. We are here for you. We're praying for you, and we're going to help the rising of York with your help. And please thank a service, a first responder. Go thank no matter where you are on the planet, go thank them. I mean, these people go in when we're running out.
Exactly.
And that is special. And they have families, and to their families also, much love. And to the city and the International Firefighters Association, everything they did was really amazing and very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all the firefighters that helped out, that came in, and Lancaster that stepped in for York while they were going through this.
Yeah.
So
It was amazing. I think it was Wednesday when the 2 services were held. Everyone came in from out of state. Our local fire departments came in for the memorial service. While the memorial service was going on, there was actually a fire right there in West York that those responders had to leave the memorial service to go fight a fire.
I know.
So it was just, it kind of gave you goosebumps.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And just showing the importance. And no matter what, they always are there.
Absolutely.
So,
And some of them are even just volunteers. And
Yes.
when I say just volunteers, it's not meant as in a just.
right.
They're not getting paid to put their life on the line, and they're still doing it. So
Yeah, so big thank you.
yes,
And a
thank you.
big heartfelt prayers go out to you and your families. So what you do is amazing. I mean, how long have you been doing this?
Been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now.
And what is it that got you started to want to do this?
Well, Honey's Raid came about from my dog named Honey. She was used as a bait dog here in York City. She was found about 6 years ago.
What do you mean a bait dog?
A bait dog is a dog that's usually friendly, that's used for fighter dogs to practice dog fighting on. It's usually a friendly dog, so that way that friendly dog doesn't hurt one of the dog fighters.
Wow.
Sometimes they'll chain them to a wall, tape their mouth shut, and just let the fighters loose on them then to be able to practice for a dog fight.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I didn't even
vicious
think that
and
existed
cruel.
around
Yes,
here.
it does. It very much does.
Wow.
There's
Real
no-
estate, we see it a lot, believe it or not. The rental units that we have downtown, it happens more often than we care to admit.
Wow. So
Absolutely.
how did you get involved though? So going back to how you got involved.
Well, once Honey was rescued by a local rescue organization, I'll give a little shout out here, Central
Yeah.
Pennsylvania Animal Alliance out of Mechanicsburg area. Love them. They actually saved Honey and was able to give her skin grafts and so forth to her face. And when she was healed, I was able to adopt her.
Are you able to pull your phone up real quick?
Mhm.
So this is an amazing story and amazing organization, and the whole purpose of everything we're doing here at All Live Media with Give Local York is for you to have an opportunity to get to know these organizations and who, it's not even an organization, that's what I try to let people know, it's the people with a story,
Right.
and that became an organization
Right.
in order to have more of a force with that energy in order to
Absolutely.
make change.
Absolutely. It's a passion.
So here, let's see here. So can you go to the Give Local York
Yep.
page? Thank you. And so that's why it's important when you share and invite these feeds, it lets people, this might not be your thing, but you might know somebody perfect. And then I'll show you what we do. Yep, and I'll show you what we do. And I'll let you look at this one for a second. So, hey John, how are you? Thank you everyone. We're having Honey's Raid on here tonight, right?
Right.
So, cool name, beautiful name. I knew there had to be a great story, Honey's Raid. I'm like, wait, that is like deep, like Honey's Raid. And then, so tell the story on that name.
Honey's Raid came about, of course. Honey is the dog that was used as a bait dog. That is now my baby girl. Raid is actually raising awareness in dog fighting. My best friend actually came up with that for me when I decided to start.
So what is that one more time? Let's tell them what that is.
Honey's Raid. which is raising awareness in dogfighting.
It's in the top thing of the post, so everyone can just look up and see it right now.
Awesome. And can you share this feed and invite your friends, please?
Sure.
Everyone, I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm going to show you.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, we're glad to have him.
So here, so have you ever shared before?
No.
All right. So do you want me to do it? And then you can talk so you can stay focused on
Sure.
talking? All right.
Sure.
So if you see comments, you can just use that one
Okay.
for the comments. How's that?
Sure.
You can just read that one for the comments. So there was a dog raid. Let's get back to it. And Honey, were you part of this? An organization, Central Penn?
Central Pennsylvania Animal Alliance actually rescued her from off the streets. Originally, the humane officer for York City found her roaming the streets of York over near Hannah Penn, and he sent her to the York SPCA, and the York SPCA reached out for rescues
Wow.
to see if they would come and take the dog off their hands and get them the medical attention that they needed.
So the dog needed some, Honey needed some. Now,
Yes.
has Honey been the name, or who gave Honey the name?
Honey, her nurse at the Queen Street Emergency Vet,
Oh, right up here.
right up here, is
Oh,
all the doctors there and nurses
right next
there.
to College Closet.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely. That's who did all her surgeries. And her main nurse used to rock her back and forth in her arms
Oh,
and saying, it's gonna be okay, honey, it's gonna be okay. So that's how she got her name, Honey.
wow.
Her nurse gave her that name.
So pit bulls aren't throwaway dogs,
Absolutely not.
and they're not mean.
And they're not
I mean, look
mean.
what that dog went through. Look what Honey went through, and you know they do a lot of stuff. Just so people know, I just know people in different avenues with animals, but they don't just say, "Here's a dog ready," right? Like,
Right.
did they just say, "Here's Honey, there's a dog we like, and there you go"?
Nope.
I mean, it took a while,
It
right?
took a while, yeah. I
And
had to go through an adoption.
behavioral training too, right?
Yep,
for
a
the
little
dog,
bit. Yep,
to
absolutely.
make sure that the dog was going to be okay through what it went through.
Absolutely.
Honey.
Honey.
So
Honey.
how long did it take you, and when did you find out about Honey?
I found out about Honey in June 6 years ago. Whatever that year that would be. It took 2 months for her skin grafts to take hold, and she had to be fed with a feeding tube. She also has
So who was paying for all this? And was this free?
all donations. All
Wow.
donations coming, and it took $7,000.
So $7,000. Man, that
To
sounds like
fix
a
her
community got behind this.
Absolutely. The community from York, from Mechanicsburg, Carlisle, Harrisburg. She touched a lot of people's hearts.
Wow. You know, to go through that and still be able to give that love is very special.
Absolutely.
And she had to show that to you when you saw her.
Oh my gosh,
So what was it like when you met her the first time?
it was like, oh my gosh, she literally bounced off the walls. She has
Oh.
that much energy. And she had that much energy. I've had her for 6 years now.
And how old was she when all this
she
happened?
was only about a year old.
Oh, so
so
a
she-
little pup, they did this?
Yeah.
That's
She's
what-
only, when she was found, she was only 16 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
And this happens right here in York.
Right here in
County.
York. Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And cockfighting does too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, listen, people are so busy in what they're doing. If they don't find out about something and it's a reliable source, I don't know, people hear stuff, but, we don't want that.
No.
Right.
You don't want it for many different reasons. Even if you're not an animal lover.
Which I am. Okay.
And I am too.
So, Clifford, y'all know Clifford the big red dog. Maniac runs our house.
Some people are like, oh, it's just dogs. It's just dogs. It's not a big deal.
He actually understands
it's way more than
English.
that.
And I'm not even joking, he does.
Oh my
I'll be
gosh.
like, ask anyone. I'll be like, go do something. Clifford will. I'm like, go tell your mom it's time for coffee, Lori. He goes in there. Clifford does understand English.
That's awesome.
Yes, he's no Australian
That's
cattle dog,
great.
but he's our family. But anyway, so tell them the reasons why we wouldn't want them. I know, sorry for
But
interrupting.
that's great. I love to hear about Clifford and
Yeah.
his red dog.
Yeah.
Gun violence, illegal firearms, illegal gambling,
What that's all tied
That's
in. That's
all
why we
tied
wouldn't want that.
into dog fighting.
What do you mean by that? It's tied in. I don't understand. The dogs are fighting what they make money.
Oh,
for people that
absolutely.
don't-
Gambling, yes.
Okay.
A professional dog fight.
Charday Moore, Scott Lutz. And you can
Yes.
interrupt and say hi
Okay.
to everyone.
Okay,
We
I
do
wasn't
that.
sure.
Yeah, no, say
Yeah,
hi.
just stop, yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
of
important
course,
that
yep.
we're a community. So
Okay.
say
Thank
hi,
you
that's
for
what we
viewing.
share.
Hi, thank you. Make sure you share.
Yes.
Tell everybody about
If you
Honey's
know anyone
Reed.
on there, say hi to them.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
anybody yet.
Alright, but if you do, and maybe because I'm on your phone, but I'll finish sharing. If I share too fast, I'll get you blocked. Look, it's okay to get blocked when you're doing good stuff.
That's right.
But does it take resistance? You know, we bop around here, but I like people to know that when you see, you know, the people that you see up here, when you get to know the humans behind the stories, that the only reason they can push forward like they are is because it's passion.
Yes.
And that can't be stopped with the human will.
Right.
Okay? So that's, I mean, because it's not easy, has it? Always
No.
worth it,
It's always worth
but
it.
not
The
ever,
heartbreak,
not easy.
every heartbreak, every tear, every bad picture, every investigation that we personally go out.
So what do you do with the money So for a
The
second.
money that we
that
raise,
you're going to raise, and we're going to help
Exactly.
get you more? So what are you
it
going to do
actually
with it?
goes to dog fighting survivors. I refuse to call them victims. They're
All
not
right, so
victims.
explain. So
they're
you have some
survivors.
money. Tell me what, like a month or a week or a day looks like. Where let's say you had some funds. What are some things you're going to do that
Well,
are on your
You
plate?
know, the picture that's behind us, that's gonna cost probably a good $10,000 to $15,000.
So you're not
So-
going to euthanize this puppy.
No, this dog will not. He is currently rescued by another rescue group. We help support those rescue groups with the money that we make. So we'll go through
Wow.
and we'll donate $200, $300, $400, $500. I give Local York.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Jody Burns. I know you.
Hi, Give Local York.
We go through and we help as many rescues
I mean,
as
to
we
think
can.
that you have the heart to do that, you got to tell me. I mean, it almost makes me want to cry. That's a living being, feeling animal
Animal.
that is, you know. I mean, Clifford's our family. Like he would
Yeah.
die for us,
Absolutely.
and so I can't imagine.
And
mean-
he was done.
Wow.
So after a dog fight, what they'll do is if they don't kill
And
them.
when you see leashes embedded in dogs.
Oh, isn't that awful? Isn't that awful?
I mean, in York, there was someone I think like last year that punched it and got caught on social
Oh,
media,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that was
he did.
and they
Yes.
use that as an example that that's not happening, right?
Right.
And social media, for all of you that don't,
Absolutely.
and look, let me give you a social media thing right here. For everyone that doesn't share and invite, the only reason that dog, or not going to say the only, but the main reason that dog was saved and all that went down
It's because of
is
social
because
media.
of social media.
Absolutely.
So check it when you realize you don't want to share and invite. All this matters. If we want to change the way we are, the media, we now have the power because you have the phones. This is the source, and we bring in the power. Which right
Absolutely.
now it's Honey's Raid. You power that through social media.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's all we're saying is share and
I
invite.
mean, that video for Bugsy was his name. That video of Bugsy that you're talking about, within minutes, thousands of people had seen that video and were calling the
And
police
they knew
department.
that they were not going to be able to let it go
Exactly.
because of the power of social media. Too
Absolutely.
many people got behind it,
Yep.
and they saw it real. It wasn't edited.
Right.
And that was the power. You got to understand
Absolutely.
this is the future, and look what it can do when used in the right way.
Right.
Somebody doing wrong, and it was used in the right way.
Exactly.
So don't hide from social media. If you're out there on a mission and you're helping, and everything we're talking about tonight is Give Local York. It's the first time ever, May 4th, 2018. We're going to get together at Central Market, and we are going to raise over $1 million. Hold on 1 second. That's my house. Hello.
And I think it's important to point
Alright,
out
let
here.
me see.
What a
I'm already
valuable,
on our show, so
what a
let me call you back.
valuable
Love you, bye.
charity this is, because you're talking about, they're not only affecting animals, they're affecting the community at large, because we're trying to stop dog fighting, and it has so many different effects, where you were saying gun violence.
Drugs. It's now been linked to human trafficking. So you have all
Just
that.
doesn't make a whole lot of
So
sense to
I was
do.
gonna pick up my daughter or friend if you would take the mic. You want to take the mic for a little while? Because I would love to bring them down. I live at the top of the hill. They're teenagers.
Oh, that would be
and I would
great.
love to show them. So unless you don't want to take the mic,
Well,
but
okay.
if you would MC, this is real here. I live at the top of the hill, and she just
Great.
called me, and my family comes first, so I answer the phone when it says home.
Absolutely.
Right. So,
Absolutely.
you know, something could happen, and so that's how
That's
we
right.
roll.
That's
And we're live. So Ryan, you're awesome. So we appreciate you coming.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta tell you, your energy. I keep interrupting when she came here. I was outside doing something. You know what I mean? But your energy is awesome
Oh,
and
thank you.
wholesome, and that's what I want people to see here. Is we're just people in York County that care about York County. Whether it's our seniors, whether it's all the different organizations. Tonight you're gonna hear about. Tonight you're gonna hear about Honey's Raid, and that's just awesome.
Yep.
So go ahead, Ryan. I'll let you go. Hello.
So for those of us who don't know how a charity works,
Uh-huh.
you're a 501c3.
Correct.
So any
I
donation
can't hear
that
you.
someone gives you is tax, you can write it off on your taxes, right?
Right.
So it kind of pays you to help the organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It pays your heart,
Yes.
first of all. But you can use it as a tax donation. You should be getting a tax donation receipt from the Give Local York organization. And if you send it directly to Honey's Raid or to this nonprofit or this nonprofit, we have receipts that we would give you so that way you can make a tax deduction.
That's amazing.
It is.
It is. It really is.
It is.
So Shane kind of touched on it. You're donating money to different dog organizations.
Yes.
What else do you do?
We raise awareness of the signs of dog fighting within the state of Pennsylvania because this organization is not real big yet.
Yes.
I don't have a whole lot of volunteers, so my mother and I actually do the main part of it, and we go out and educate police departments, fire departments, utility companies, probation officers, real estate agents. Anybody that wants to be informed, we go out and inform. We do this on our own time.
Mm-hmm.
We take no money from the nonprofit. We use our own gas money, our own time off of work for vacation. My mother and I, we work 5 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and we go out every weekend. We're at different events like craft shows, adoption events. We'll be out at Pet Value or Tractor Supply, just to educate the general public, that's walking by who, you could just say one dog is all we're asking for.
Mm-hmm. One
you know?
dog.
One dog.
One dog.
One dog makes a huge difference. So if
It's like
everybody's
sharing
doing
this
it-
out just one time can make a big difference too. So
Absolutely.
please hit that share and invite button. So what are the signs of dog fighting for people who just have no idea? What are like the top 2 or 3?
The top 2 or 3 is going to be multiple dogs within a small area, whether it's a basement. Now they're going to be crated separately, of course, or if it's outside on a piece of land, they're going to be about 8 feet apart from each other, and they're going to have those long, heavy chains on them.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of times you're going to see a lot of scarring on them. If they've been doing dog fighting for a while, they're going to have severe scarring. You're going to see it mainly on their face, neck, and front end. Sometimes you'll see a little bit on their back hindquarters because they're running to try to get away.
Oh.
But that's your main thing
Sad.
you're going to look for is the scarring.
Yeah.
And if you see it, kind of play dumb with the human that's with that dog.
That's good advice.
Okay.
I think you didn't see it.
Yeah. And you'd be like, oh, did you rescue that dog?
Ah.
You're letting them know you're recognizing this dog has scars.
Uh-huh.
But yet you're not coming out and saying it straight to them.
That's a great, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Like the vet clinics and stuff that are in the area. I had taken Honey to a vet clinic, and the vet never asked me one time about any of her scars on her face. And I was so disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So disappointed. And I even said, once we were done with her vaccinations, I said, you should have been asking me why she has so many scars. And, was she a rescue or something? You shouldn't have just left it go and not mention anything.
Right.
So your main things you're going to look for is multiple dogs
Multiple dogs.
with the heavy chains and then scarring.
Wow.
That's going to be your main
That's
things.
wow. And it's amazing. And I think a lot of times what we're seeing is a polar extreme. You have people who are socially and economically depressed.
Right.
That are using this as a source of income.
Absolutely, because it's a huge source of income. A single dog fight can go for $80,000 to $90,000.
Say that again. How much? 80 to 90,000
$90,000
for one dog fight.
for one dog fight. And now most dog fights, professional wise, they last for hours.
What do you
They're
mean?
not just done in 15 minutes.
So the two dogs are fighting for hours?
For hours. They literally have rules. It's called the Cajun rules. Look it up. Pull it up on Google. Cajun rules.
This is frightening.
They actually have referees. They have a fighting pit. It's almost like a boxing match. They each start off in their own corner. They have a scratch line that they have to go over. The handlers can be in the ring with them, so the dogs have to be human friendly. So a lot of times your professional rings, your dogs are going to be human friendly because their humans have to be in the ring with them. They can't touch the dogs while they're fighting, but they can be right there in the fight, egging them on. And then there's a referee and everything.
That's frightening.
Yes.
It really is.
They have their own lingo, their own language. So when I look at Craigslist
Mm-hmm.
and it says, have a pit bull, a certain type of bloodline, I know to check into that a little further.
Okay.
Because unless you're into something like that, you're not going to care about their bloodline when it comes to a pit bull.
Okay.
Okay? So Craigslist.
They said they're a blue nose or something like that.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like a blue nose generally isn't used for dog fighting. They're not. They're adorable, but they're not genetically inclined for the actual dog fight.
Okay.
Okay, so they tend to stay away. Now your thugs, that just want to have a fight just to say, I have
We had
my
a dog
dog
fight.
won, and
Yeah.
they'll use whatever dog, and that dog is generally not going to be friendly with humans because they don't know how to train them and condition them right.
Mm-hmm.
So they just make them plain mean.
Right.
Mean to humans, mean to animals,
It's so sad.
It is sad. It's sad. You have different spectrums. You have different races.
Mm-hmm.
The largest dog fighting ring in the United States history was a white male preacher.
What? Where?
The South.
The South.
He had 360 dogs on his property.
How big was this property?
It's huge.
And
And it was in the woods.
Uh-huh.
So, they were covered half the time, so it's not something that you could see unless you were flying overhead
Mm-hmm.
or if you had a tip.
Mm-hmm.
And dogfights generally come together at the last minute. It's usually an unknown location until like a half an hour before the fight. The referee isn't picked until like a half an hour before the fight because our police cannot gather that kind of intel that quickly and be able to set up for a dog bust.
Wow.
So they'll make it all at the last minute.
That's just amazing. A lot of thought goes into it. But if you're making
Absolutely.
90 grand a night doing it,
Absolutely.
you're going to want to
And
do
then-
that
and
type
then
of
you
thought, I
figure
guess.
The illegal drugs that you're making money off of, the human trafficking that you're making the money off of, if you have that there, the illegal firearms of selling and trading on that. So you got a
It
lucrative
sounds like a free. It
business.
sounds like a free for all.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
really does. Kathy asked to talk about the trucking. Is that
Trunking.
Trunking. Tell me about trunking.
That's my mom. Hi, Mom. Trunking. Okay, so this is probably gonna make a lot of people feel a little nauseated. Trunking is when you put two dog fighters in the trunk of a car, close the lid, and drive around. It's a good way to conceal the dog fight. Nobody hears anything, nobody sees anything. But those dogs are fighting in that trunk of that car as their humans are driving around. And when the car stops jumping and bumping up and down, that whoever is left in that trunk is the winner.
That's so gross.
That they fight to the death when it's in the trunking. But you have no witnesses.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it terrible? It's just
This
terrible.
is an organization you need to donate to because
thank
you're gonna help stop this.
Yes,
and
we would
this
like to.
This is something that we need to bring more aware. I've never even heard of trunking before,
Mhm.
and I've been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a new way of doing things now in the dog fighting world. Because people are getting better educated on the signs of dog fighting.
We need, yeah. This is an important issue. This is an important topic.
Absolutely. I feel that way, but
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, well, I mean, they're living beings.
Yes.
They have feelings.
they have feelings.
They
They
can
feel
the
pain.
pain. They can feel the emotion. They can,
Absolutely.
and they love as much as.
They try to get out of the fighting pits. They try to jump out over the barrier that they have made for them. Because they don't want to do that. They don't want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Pit bulls, golden retrievers, labs, chihuahuas, nobody wants to fight.
Did the Chihuahuas fight too?
No.
I was gonna say the Chihuahua fight.
I
mean, that'd be sad, but
a lot of people are like, oh, it's just pit bulls, it's just pit bulls. No animal wants to fight.
Right. Good point.
You know?
I think Shane locked himself out.
I think so too.
I'll be right back. You're right. Keep going on with that. No animal wants to fight.
Yep, no animal wants to fight. So it's not just the pit bulls, it's not just the golden retrievers.
Hey, what's going on? How are we?
Shane's back.
All right, man, I'm back.
Okay.
So just watch out for the cord. Come on, all the way back here.
We were just talking
You know-
about trunking. I learned something today. I've never heard of this before.
Trunking.
That's where they take two dogs, put them in a trunk of a car, they drive around until the trunk stops popping. And the dogs
Wait,
fight. They
wow.
fight to the death.
So whichever one's left alive in the back end is the winner. Hi, girls.
Hi. So we're talking about Honey's Raid,
Yes.
and so let's go back for everyone. Actually, let me first real quick. I want to shout out to Give Local York.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
York County's largest day of giving is presented by York Federal Fellows Alumni Association and Megan Hess. Appreciate you all. Everyone that shares and invite. These stories matter. This is how people are going to determine where they're going to put their money if they don't go in the pool. And these are great things. I know we have a heart for dog and what these people are doing to dogs. You want the iPad while I read this off?
Yeah, I would actually. Thank you.
I
didn't want to
This
stop.
dog was saved, and so we're going to talk about, you go through the pictures, but I'm going to, for the first time ever, put May 4th, 2018 on your calendar. Our community will be transformed into a community-wide celebration of generosity that benefits hundreds of nonprofit organizations. They all have to be in York County. There's actually 200 of them. They've all been filled, all the spots, so thank you. And all the money donated to givelocalyork.org that day will be amplified by a stretch pool of prizes, so giving goes further and it stays local. The first Friday activities, there's going to be dine-outs, flash mobs, and more. givelocalyork.org is going to unite organizations and individuals so everyone can get to know everyone and know that your money can stay right here in York and be part of a deeply engaging celebration of good work and giving back in the whole, it's a county-wide thing. And how it works is, on May 4th, 2018, you're going to visit Give Local York, givelocalyork.org from a computer. You might turn that down,
I'm trying to.
So, we're real here, so. But I can talk louder, it's cool, because I'm mic'd up. But on May, thanks to Ryan, he's our executive producer, so thanks, man, I appreciate that, Ryan.
And I just knew I had to have her. I had just recently lost my yellow lab, who had been my baby for years. And I need saved because of my loss of him. And she needed saved. She needed me. I needed her. She mainly rescued me. Is how I feel about it. I mean, I just love her to death. And everyone that she meets, they just fall in love with her because she's so exuberant and happy and loving and.
So you saw her on the news, and then what happened from the news? Because a lot of people see things, but this was different. It's now Honey's Raid, so
Right.
I want people to see that. You saw her on the news, you said you had to have her.
Said
So
I had
you
to have
having her is not Honey's Raid yet.
Right.
So you got her,
I got her.
and did it happen overnight?
No, did not happen overnight.
It took a while.
It took a while. It did take
They
a
had
while.
to check her out and check you out, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. I needed some training. She needed some training.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
so at the end of all that, y'all get united,
exactly.
and then you're hanging out for a year, a month. What happened until Honey's Raid came? Like, take me from that point.
What we did was we ended up doing some volunteer work for Central Pennsylvania Animal Alliance, who was the group that actually got her all her surgeries and everything. And then we decided that we kind of wanted to go out on our own because we wanted to focus on anti-dog fighting within the state of Pennsylvania. And Honey goes along to the events with us. Not every event because it gets kind of tiring for her. But she does go to a lot of events with us. We have Honey Fest coming up on June the 16th.
Honey Fest. What's Honey Fest?
Honey Fest is a bully breed adoption and awareness event. So if we say Honey Fest, an anti-dog fighting event, nobody's gonna come.
Honey Fest, they're like, yo, I'll be there.
My mic just-
Yeah, that's our executive producer. Can you help her with her mic,
Yes,
Ryan?
yes I can.
Thanks.
It can't-
That mic
so
is-
let me go sit upstairs.
Okay, just be careful out there. You want to say hi? My daughter and her
No,
friend are here
maybe
tonight. Huh?
No.
Which one's your daughter?
Oh.
The dark
The
hair. You
cute
want to say
one.
hi, Kylie? Say hi to Jennifer.
She-
You want to say Olivia?
Hi.
Hi.
So,
No, less cute one. I'll get the cuter one.
15.
Good luck.
I have 4 kids, 3 daughters. So I have a 22, a 19, and 18. I got skill now.
You think you have skill.
No, I do, which means I gotta get up every day. That's all, right? You know, I'm dog meat, baby. Yo, I mean, they get me. But I love being a dad, just like you love doing what you do. I
Yep.
love doing what I do. I love being a dad. That's why I
That's
ran up
great.
there quick, right?
That's great.
Even though for that 5 minutes, right? Because I would have wanted that with Honey. You are treating and letting every other dog. You're letting Honey go through you to save other dogs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Honey is going through Jennifer to get other dogs saved.
That's right.
You know, because her heart, when she met you and you met her and
And
together,
connected.
right?
Yep.
I
We
mean,
are
that's-
their voices.
Yes.
They don't have a voice. We are their voices.
I mean, that's amazing, you know? And you never know when you're going to find what you find your calling.
Right.
Right,
I would have
so-
never have guessed this. I used
Right.
to be one of these people that, oh, here comes a pit bull. I'm going to cross on the other side of the
And
street.
see, I think that's good to talk about, right? So
Yep.
you were that person that
I
was
was
like,
that
hey,
person.
no way.
Yep. I always said, I swore I would never own a pit bull. And I met Honey and just completely fell in love.
I mean, think about this. This Honey went through all that traumatic stuff, and I mean, you know, there's people that can't go through that and come out straight.
Right.
And she comes out not only straight but compassionate, and now is helping other dogs by
Yep.
people seeing her. That is amazing.
It's huge. It's
You
huge.
know what I mean? That just gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. It makes me get
Yeah,
teary.
I don't want to make you cry, but I mean, this is amazing. I appreciate you coming down here and showing. So let's go through. What is this?
This is actually 2 of Vic's dogs.
Really? Michael Vick?
Michael Vic's dogs. My mom and I just went on vacation out to Best Friends Animal Sanctuary out in Utah, and we wanted to get to meet the Vic dogs that are still, you know, with
They
us.
said Honey gives great kisses.
She does give great kisses. She charges $2 a kiss.
Thank you, Nicole. That's $2 a kiss. I love it. Look at it. She charges $2 a kiss. Oh, that's so cool.
Unfortunately, while we were out there, Curly was sick. So she was in the hospital. We weren't able to actually meet them, but they did take special pictures for us and gave them to us. There's 3 dogs still at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary that came out of Bad News Kennels. But they're living out their life perfectly, loved, and they go to the office every day with the people
So,
out there.
what do? You do any discussions with young people in schools? Like, are you doing or getting
We're
into
trying.
educating on why it's not, and what are the things that can, you know, so young people know that,
Right.
hey, I know there's an attraction that you think is there, but let's
Right.
let's show you a dog and let's show you.
We
the
actually go a little bit younger than even that. We're trying to get into the schools. It's kind of hard.
I'm
It's
sure
a
it
hard
is.
subject that a lot of schools don't want you to deal with. But we go to Brownies and Girl Scouts and that type of thing, Boy Scouts
and all live media
and all live media.
That's right.
because it's important what you're doing.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
We show them how to care for and treat your pets. You know, how to approach a strange dog instead of running up to them.
So let's
Yeah,
talk
'cause
about
they're
some
not
stuff. Should you leave your dog on a chain outside?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, there's people that have been brought up, and I'm not from this county. You know, I grew up on a farm, and all of our animals could come and go inside.
Right.
Now, Clifford would never see the outside. He doesn't even, listen, he doesn't even like getting wet. Yo, I'm like, Clifford, come on, he'll do his business in the driveway if he doesn't get caught not to, because he doesn't like to get wet. So, I mean, that's how sensitive that little fellow is,
Oh
and
my
he's a
gosh.
tough dog. But, So there's feelings behind these animals. So what shouldn't people do if they have an animal? And I mean, sometimes people just don't know, and I
Yeah,
know
so
that
they
just
just
don't
need
know
to be educated.
because they've been watching someone else do it. They're like, you get a dog house, you put it in, and
Right.
so what shouldn't they do?
An animal needs to be able to maintain their body temperature.
So they're
When
not
they're
meant
outside.
to be out there
No.
sitting out there, even the cold nights when it gets down to
Exactly.
30, 40. That's
Even if
chilly.
you have a really
So where
fluffy
should
dog.
they typically be, in the 90s, 80s? I mean, what's their temperature? I mean,
They just like us, you know.
yeah.
They're a little bit higher in their temperature. They're like a normal's like a 1.
Because
or
Clifford loves a
1.
blanket. He has
Oh,
blankets on his
absolutely.
bed.
The
to
hotter
curl
the
up.
better to most dogs.
He'll lay in front of that fire and pant.
I know,
So-
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So cold, obviously. So don't leave him out there. What about food and water? How often should a dog be fed?
He should be, a dog should be fed, if you're feeding on a schedule, 2 times a day.
All right, Clifford gets twice a
2
day. He
times
only
a day.
gets a
Some people do that free feeding, where they keep food down all day long and they can come and graze as they want.
Clifford would eat everything in there.
Exactly.
I've
So
seen
that's
dog
why-
bowls where they have spaces so that they have to work.
Yeah, you have little puzzles and stuff
Where
that
they,
have
because they
to
eat
work for
too
'em.
fast.
Right,
So they don't hurt themselves.
right.
But so what about water?
Water should be down all the time for them.
Should it be fresh or just always pour water on top of water?
It should be fresh.
For a lot.
Would you like to drink
No,
stale water?
listen, our house, listen, the bowl's gotta be clean.
Yeah.
I mean, bowls get dirty. You should clean the bowl,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. At least once a
Put it
week.
in the dishwasher
Yeah.
or wash it out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What about food? Should they change dog food? Is there any recommendations about food?
You know, some rescue groups believe in the really high priced dog food.
I've seen people cooking chickens and beef. Well, I forget what we buy, but we
Yeah.
buy whatever brand is a good one. We go to Chewy.com is where we
There
go.
you go. We love Chewy.
Do you?
And the White Dog Bone Company too. They're a local too.
Clifford
They're out
loves
of
lamb.
Thomasville.
Are they?
Yes, they're out of Thomasville.
'Cause-
White Dog Bone Company.
White Dog Bone Company. White
Give
Dog
them a
Bone.
shout out as well.
Yes, let's do it. We definitely do. So we're talking about some do's and don'ts. What about manicuring and taking care of in shots? Can we talk about that?
Definitely have to have your animals vaccinated at least once a year.
And what does that do once a year, and how do you do it?
Well, there's low-cost veterinarian clinics all around.
What does it typically cost once a year? I mean, just for someone.
If you're going to the vet, I just took both of mine, okay, and I went to my vet, and I walked out of there at $420.
So what about people on a fixed budget? Is there a way they can
I
go
recommend,
out?
yes, go to the veterinarian clinics at Tractor Supply, at Pet Value, at Petco, at PetSmart.
Boom.
It's
Now-
gonna save you tons of money, and yet your animals are still being taken care of.
Now, what about, should you try to figure out what kind of dog you have? Does it help you take care of your dog?
I think if it's like, if they end up having health issues and stuff like that, yeah, it would be
Or
beneficial.
behaviors, maybe certain dogs
Exactly,
behave a
yeah.
certain way, and you might
It'd be
not
very
realize it
beneficial.
where.
Absolutely. Especially when you're going to adopt a dog, you're going to want to do your research on
What
what,
do you
kind
need?
of dog.
Can you have an apartment and adopt a dog?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good. So you
But
can.
you're not going to be able to have a huge
big-
dog in an apartment and expect it to behave well unless you're going to socialize it and stimulate it and
You know,
exercise it.
I've gone to a lot of houses. I've been doing insurance. I have insurance agents, and I see people that love animals sometimes, and they have a lot. And I'll sometimes look and see like feces places, and they
Yeah.
just get. You know, is there a point where there's only so many that it's good to have, or you know, is there too much? I mean, when do you
There's
know? And
always-
when should you? How can you say something? You know, we're not about getting people in trouble, but you know,
Right.
we want people to be safe, and want animals to be safe, and want
Right.
everyone to be healthy.
Right.
Right? So what's a good way? Is there a good way to approach someone maybe that they have too many dogs or cats, or maybe that they
Well, first I probably approach them in a caring, concerned way. Is there
Yeah.
something we can do to help you with this situation? Because maybe the person just had a bad week, wasn't capable, fell, hurt themselves, had migraines all week or something, wasn't able to get their animals outside to be able to use the bathroom. So I would probably approach it in more of a concerned way. One, you're not getting them on the defensive right away, and you might get more information out of them better.
nice. So what about once a year we get the shots? What about collars and that kind of thing? Should you ever change collars out?
Yeah, you can. You can.
How tight should they be?
You should be able to get your 2 fingers
2
underneath
fingers.
the collar.
Okay, so 2 fingers should be able to go underneath the collar.
Yep.
Alright.
I mean, I wear martingale collars on my dogs. They look like a regular collar, and then they have like a little chain to it too. Makes it more like a choker then at that point. That way, when I'm walking them, they can't slip out of
Oh,
their collars.
okay.
Smart.
Now, what about muzzles? Like Clifford, with little, like people look at him like your dog's muzzle. We always try to get with my kids, we're like that. But we didn't want to ever put him to sleep, and he's protective and around little
Right.
kids. So, and I'm like, well, they sell them at Petco, so
Right.
they can't be like, you know,
Right.
whatever. Is that right,
Right.
thinking? And so we got him because he could still do his drinking and
And
eating
panning and
and whatever he has to do.
right.
So
Yeah,
is
that's
there-
great. That's being a responsible dog owner.
How would you tell someone to size those up? Because there's different kinds. Is it what your dog's comfortable with and a certain size?
I
Because
think it's more depending on
their snout.
their snout.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Because you know, like your boxers and stuff have that shorter nose, so you're gonna have to.
So you need a cage probably for
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay. And Clifford has it. All right. If you have any questions about animals or honeys, you know, Raid, it's amazing what they're doing. I mean, you want to tell them what you're doing. Tell them about what you're working on. What do you do in the week if something comes up like this? Can someone call you if there's a concern?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So-
you can call. And I can even give you my phone number right now.
Yeah,
if you
could
like.
you? Can you
It's,
put that up there? Or I can put it up right here. Oh, I shut you down.
Go ahead, what's your phone number?
It's 717-434-0577. If you need help with, say you fall in hard times, you need help with pet supplies, you can give us a call. If we have the pet supplies available,
Wow.
then we will make sure that we get them to you. We help out with investigations. You can call and report animal abuse, animal neglect,
Right
no,
to you.
right to us. Now
Can they message you on Facebook
they
to your
sure
page?
can.
So they can just message
Hi,
you on
Angel.
Facebook.
Hi, Nicole. Yes, they can message me right on Facebook. We have a pretty good response time on our Facebook messaging.
Because it's serious business.
It is serious business.
I mean, time matters, right?
Yep,
Be
yep.
a voice for the voiceless. Look at
Absolutely.
that. That's wow.
And that's that long chain that I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier.
Wow.
What
People
else?
put that on them.
Oh yeah, even thicker than that sometimes. And then sometimes they put the weights on their collars.
So
Does it
when
help?
if someone lived around this, would they know it? I mean,
If you just saw just this, and you couldn't get a close
so that's
up,
not normal.
it's not normal, but it's not illegal. Well, it is actually illegal now with Libre's law.
What,
It is
what do you,
illegal.
and what do you mean? Explain to me what is.
To tether your dog out, it's
And so-
illegal. They
So
can't
you
be
can't
tethered
just-
any longer than 30 minutes at a time.
And tethering means you just put them on like a chain
A
outside.
chain, a leash of some sort. Yeah, you have to even have a special tether now.
Where they
Libre's
can-
law.
Like my neighbor has one where his
Yes.
dog can like run or something.
Yeah, pretty much, but still only 30 minutes at a time.
Only 30 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you saw this and then 6 or 8 feet over you saw another dog the same way, that's going to be one of your signs. And if you actually get close enough to these animals and you see scarring on their face and on their front shoulders and front legs, that's another sign. But the real thick, heavy collars a lot of times are weighted to be able to build stamina and strength in their neck for that fight.
Wow. Wow.
There's a lot of thought that goes into that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing.
These are not dumb people.
Yeah.
They really are not dumb people. They're
So-
very intelligent.
Mhm.
It's just an easy way to make money for them.
Mm-hmm.
So don't
amazing.
get involved in it. It's no way to be. Nobody. That's not anyway. Honey Fest, big kissing, best kissing booth ever. Awesome. We love it. That is awesome. You got logged out. I don't know. You have to log back in. I don't know what happened. It logged you out.
I'm not sure.
Probably
either.
because I shared so many times. I just keep sharing because you know why? Because it's important that people get to know what Honey's rate is, right? I mean,
Right.
you're taking time after work on your day, doing all the things you do to come in here, and so we're going to do everything we can to
Thank
make
you.
sure everyone finds out about it.
Thank you.
And we're not, you know, we told all of the non-for-profits 15 minutes, but doesn't mean that we're not going to continue our relationship.
That's right.
Because we're big in giving and things we can do, and there's some that we're doing some stuff for on social media. So we appreciate you sharing this because every puppy matters.
Yep.
All right, and the thing is that's why you're going to have 200 non-for-profits.
Yep.
But Honey's Rate is what we're talking about.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
Honey's Rate.
And so, what does the money go to? They send you some money. Someone gives you $1,000. Where's it going?
We send it off to other rescue groups when they help dog fighting survivors with their medical bills.
So,
with
what do you
their-
mean you help survivors? You help the puppies that are coming out of the situation
Yes.
with surgeries. What?
Surgeries,
finding
heart
home.
guard, assessments like behavior assessments, rehabilitation. Because sometimes their spirit has been broken, and
And
they
it
need
can
to
be
build
brought back?
confidence. They can be. Most of Vic's dogs were brought back. Most of Vic's dogs live with small children or other animals. You know, they can be brought back, but it all costs money. And rescues do not have the funds to just hand over like that. So that's what Honey's Rate does. We'll help them with that.
Wow.
We'll help the community with their pet supplies if they need some help. That way, that's one less animal being surrendered into the shelter or to another rescue group. You can call me if you need help rehoming your pet. We'll do home visits, vet checks, reference checks, and everything. Instead of you putting your dog up or your cat
Wow.
up on Craigslist for free, you get a hold of us. We'll take care of all that for you to help ensure that the dog or cat goes into a good home.
That's awesome.
So that's where your money goes to. You know, it helps out with that kind of stuff. Our main is helping with the dog fighting, but if we see that it's a local case that is abuse, neglect, and needs to see a veterinarian, and the owners don't have money for it, they contact us and we'll try to help them out.
Wow. That's awesome.
So we try.
Well, guys, listen, we're going to wrap this up. We went a little bit over 15
We
minutes.
sure did.
But this is our way. So look, at the end here, I'm going to give my little thing, and I'm going to let Jennifer give hers. Listen, Give Local York is what this is all about. Megan, thank you. Megan Hess, go get a pretzel. Go down to York Pretzel Company. This is presented to you, York County's largest day of giving, Give Local York. It's May 4th, 2018. It's a Friday, first Friday. It's presented by, and we want to thank York Federal Fellows Alumni Association for everything they're doing. And for the first time ever on May 14th, this community is getting together for a 24-hour get-to-know